What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. It is a Tech Tuesday. I want to thank everybody who's been patiently waiting. We are handling other business on the phone before we got up in here, okay? And we will handle other business later. So, thank you for being here on a Tuesday. You guys drop your city and state in the chat, and let me know if you heard yes or no. Put in the chat if you heard that T-Mobile got hacked. 40 million people information is hacked at T-Mobile. Put a yes in if you've heard it. All right. And now that you're here, please introduce yourself to the audience and where they can locate and find you.
Yep, I am Tamika Reed. I am located everywhere on the internet, or like some people say, Obama's internet, at
Hmm.
at Women in
This
Linux.
man's internet. That's what I call it.
At Women in Linux. Also Women in Linux across all social media platforms. If you're looking for me on LinkedIn, you can find me at Tamika Reed. No dot, no period, no nothing else. Just all one word, Tamika Reed, on LinkedIn. And
Love
as
it.
far as my background goes, 20 years of Linux administration, system engineering, cloud security, cloud migration, anything dealing with touching the operating system, basically,
Hmm.
is, if you want to look at it that way, all the way to security, to even messing with kernels and embedded systems.
Okay. Right. So, when we kicked off the Classic Climb Tour in Atlanta, ding, ding, ding. Okay. Classic Climb Tour in DC coming up. Buy your tickets. A few spaces still left. When we kicked off our tour in Atlanta, what ended up happening, I asked the ladies on the front, I said, "Hey, ladies, why are you here?" And the first thing, was some men in there too. There was VIP members.
Mm,
Winter is coming. And so I think a lot of folks are now like, now that the kids are not at home, the kids eat me out of house and home, right?
right.
They A lot of people fall into the cycle of, oh, I'm gonna go look for work now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have this spare time. But a lot of the ladies I'm running to are basically like, um, I ain't trying to go back in the office. I need some work, but
Right.
not back in the office.
Right.
Thank you, Mark, for the $20 cash app. He said, "See you Friday/Saturday this weekend." Thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Um, and so a lot of women aren't trying to go back to work.
Mm,
And we've talked about this because a lot of
right.
people are like, um, well, I don't have all these credentials. And give them some little insight, some hope on what can they do if they've got 45 days. What can they do?
45 days. If you got 45 days, no kids, and you're not doing anything,
Mhm.
I, I would say 45 days. You could do, actually, it's IBM skills course, and which is the RHCSA,
Mhm.
and that's just your baseline Linux ramp up. I'm not gonna tell people to go to Security Plus, because you're just
Mhm.
not gonna get a hands-on job. You'll be at the help desk, and you'll be there probably about 2 years trying to get out of that.
Mm.
At least with the Linux focused, or even cloud, you won't be at the help desk. So you can do
At
the
the help desk.
RHCSA, you can do the AWS or the GCP or the Azure, just to start. 45
Mhm.
days solid. You could go sign up at a cloud guru. You can come to Women in Linux. You can go to Cloud Academy. You can go to IT Pro TV. You can go to Pluralsight. You pick one. You can go to any of those and do 45 days. Now, those 45 days, you have to, in those 45 days, you need to understand how you learn. You need to also understand how to study. And when I
Mhm.
say that, you need to spend 20 minutes and do 20-minute increments on studying, not a
Mhm.
whole hour. You need to break that down into 20 minutes.
Yeah, because y'all know y'all be goldfish,
Yeah, yeah,
brain gone.
yeah, people try to consume too much information too fast. You fall asleep. I fall asleep. I mean, it's
Stand
just
up, move your
natural.
arms around, all that stuff.
Yeah, and what's cool about the 20-minute increment is you could do 20 minutes and then maybe 5 minutes on elliptical, or doing squats, or something that's
Mhm.
gonna ramp up your blood, get your blood pumping, get your brain going, and then start thinking and learn how to take notes. Well, that's really one of the big things I see with a lot of people, is not keeping a journal of what you're doing. on a daily basis.
They're just doing stuff.
They're just doing stuff. So what I try to do in my group, in my class, I'll let you go read, then come back
Mhm.
to me. And I tell people to read things 3 times, but you're reading 3 different ways. The three
Mhm.
different ways that you're reading is you're reading just to understand what is the topic, then
Mhm.
go back through and read it again, and then take notes, and then go back through and read it again and actually do the lab, actually get your hands on the keyboard, because now it's becoming a memorization thing. It's becoming familiar to you. You understand the language, you understand the lingo. Now when you're ready to take that exam, I'm gonna quiz you. When you come to
Mhm.
me, I'm gonna give you a quiz on the fly. I have no shame with that. I'm gonna
Mhm.
quiz you, I'm gonna interview you just like you're going through an interview, because that's what happens when you get in the real world. You need to be able to think on your feet. You need to be able to think swiftly. You need to be able to actually expound on how to communicate that problem to someone, to the customer, to your teammates. So I'm gonna do all that with you. You won't get that at Pluralsight, but you'll get that at Women in Linux.
Mhm. Mhm. So, 45 days is a good enough amount of time for them to kind of get plugged into a job
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
study hard.
If you study hard, you can do it in 45 days. If you need a little bit more time, 90 days. If you're trying to go through uh the whole entire RHCSA, RHCE with no knowledge, it's gonna be rough. If you're trying to do anything with dealing with any of the cloud certs and you're not putting your foot to the metal, like you're not
Mhm.
studying all day, yeah, it could be rough. But again, like I say, it depends on how you study and what you're looking at.
We'd like to acknowledge Akita Smiles for the $5 super chat. I just got my bachelor's in software engineering, going to study web development for the freelance potential. What is your opinion on this path?
So one, you got your bachelor's degree in software engineering.
Mm-hmm.
First thing that's going to come to mind to me is you're doing web development. So I give you a rundown. Do you understand data structures? Do you understand concurrency? What languages are you using? Are you using Golang? Are you using Rust? What are you good at programming in? Uh, are you looking to, when you say web development, are you looking to do, and that's a very broad term there. Are you looking to support someone who has some servers up that may have something? Are you looking to build out websites? What does that look like as far as freelance
Mm-hmm.
potential? I would probably start looking at, you can look, and you can do this now. You can go to Upwork, you can go on Indeed, you can go on Dice,
Mm-hmm.
but get with some people who are already doing some work, and see if they can toss you some work first before you your own. Work with a group of people first and understand, number one, how to set up your LLC. Number
Mm-hmm.
two, how do you set up your business account?
Mm-hmm.
Number three, how are you going to claim this, in terms of your taxes and so forth? What type of environment, what type of work are you actually looking for? So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things when you're talking about, hey, I want to go directly to web development. I would start with a small company first.
Mm-hmm.
If before I go do freelance work, I'll start with a small company first, just to get the understanding of how to communicate to customers, what kind of templates you need to set up when you're
Mm-hmm.
communicating to customers. And then from there, once you understand the business side of it, you can contract that work out, or you can keep it in house, however you feel like it. And then start looking at doing freelance work. But for the first year, I would just try to get my footing in the door with a small company to understand, like, what number one, how they're finding their customers. That's first. And then number two, how do I set myself up so I can become this entity, and then also start networking with people as well too.
So I hope she wrote that down. If she didn't write it down, she better come review this video um on her own time. Okay. Because we ain't got time. Okay. Um and so part of my thoughts are the winter is coming. We already know that, and it's a catchphrase, and we're saying it for a reason. But a
Hmm.
lot of women are good at data. They're good
Hmm.
at click, 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 click,
Hmm.
administrative work.
Hmm.
So I think some women are selling themselves short on what they could be doing. Um,
Yep.
in my mind, right?
Yep. So along that lines is there was the article came out like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, on the top certifications to get, and
Mm-hmm.
the number one certification to get was data engineering cert from Google, and
Data engineer. Say it one more time.
yeah, data data
Mm-hmm.
engineering cert from Google, and that cert was paying 171,000 to start as an average. Right. And then they gave off 15 different certs. I'll get the link and post the link
Mm-hmm.
in the chat. But that particular cert, again, it's going to take time, but it's a great start
Right.
for someone, because here's how I look at certs.
Mm-hmm.
Certs give you a guide and a timeline in order to accomplish the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Great. What it doesn't give you is the real world of how to interact with a customer or do the work when you get on the job. That's what
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't give you.
Mm-hmm.
So get the cert and start interacting with people who are in the field already, or as you go along, interact with those people. Ask questions like, "What is your day to day? Hey, where's this relevant at when I'm at work?"
Mm-hmm.
Start talking to people so now you can get an understanding. Like you learn something, but how do you apply it? And that's where a lot of things end up missing when we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about certs.
So let's say somebody's like, "Hey, listen, I gotta have some life change. I can't live in California no more.
Mm-hmm.
Moving to Texas, and I want an online job
Mm-hmm.
this fall." What's the three things they need? Because you say it, but we get new people to the channel every time, and also we have 100. Thank you guys. We got to 50,000 subscribers to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But we also have 130,000 people who are completely new to the channel this month,
Yep.
who are watching and not subscribed. I don't know why you ain't subscribed. Quit playing with me. But they want something new,
Yep.
right?
Yep. So I'm gonna always stick with Linux, and
Mm-hmm.
it's so funny. I was just on the phone with one of the big companies, one of the famed companies this afternoon, and they were
Mm-hmm.
talking about interviews. And one of the things that came up was data structures, interviewing, and then also understanding Linux, right?
Mm-hmm.
Understanding how to manipulate the kernel, what is a scheduler, understanding operating systems.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a CS degree, you should know these things. If you had a computer engineering degree, you should know these things. Electrical engineering, maybe you took that class, maybe you got some of that.
Uh-huh.
But if you're in a Linux class, you most definitely going to know how to do system performance, system tuning. Start looking at the SRE. So your three basics would be still cloud. Pick a cloud. It's still gonna be Linux, and I always throw security in there, because once you start understanding how to secure the cloud, secure the operating system, secure the applications. We just talked about the breach with who was that 40 million, who was that
40 million T-Mobile.
T-Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just saw the pipeline breach, right? We embedded systems, leaving default passwords, just little simple things
Default
that
passwords on your computer.
default passwords on these IoT devices, default
Mm-hmm.
passwords, not changing the username and passwords on those,
Oof.
sitting out
Listen.
in on a camera that you take and you install, just little things like,
Yeesh.
you know, I mean,
Now people keep them passwords saved to that computer because they ain't got them written down.
right? That's another aspect. So
Come on now, you know
that's
they do.
that's just the tip of the iceberg. Another one is
Mm-hmm.
being able to, in terms of your baseline. I always tell people this from a high level view. You
Mm-hmm.
need to understand how you yourself, when you walk into a job and into a company, how you can be the solution.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be the solution when you walk in. When you're interviewing for a job, break that job, that particular job down. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I have people in my group. I have them mind map that out. But
Mm-hmm.
basically, take that job and break it down so you can understand what each component is and how each component works.
Mm-hmm.
and then understand where the gotchas are, where the gaps they're trying to fill, what gaps are they looking to for you to walk into, what roles they're looking for you to walk into, and also are you that person that can fill that role, right? Do you have good problem solving skills? Do you communicate well? Can you write well? Can you some jobs I have you as a test is respond to this email. We have 6 emails, convey this information back to a customer. Do you write well? Can you communicate to the person? Can you identify the problem and give people a step-by-step solution?
Mm-hmm.
Those things are important. So that's why I tell people to keep a journal, because your writing style matters. How you communicate matters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, y'all, a lot of you are in the comments putting data engineering from Google. Some of y'all are putting veterans. Don't forget, we have the VETTEC program. Gain different IT and cybersecurity software data engineering skills.
Yep,
Okay.
and sense.org has a vet program as well too.
You said
Where
sans.org.
Yep, sans.org. If you go check out sans.org, they also have a program for those that are in Northern Virginia, as well as those that don't want to go to college, regular
Mm-hmm.
college. They actually have a cybersecurity program where you get an actual degree from says.org. You can check out Dennis Schultz and Frank
Mm-hmm.
Kim on LinkedIn. Check them out. Courses that I recommend that anyone who's already has a cloud cert
Mm-hmm.
or looking to go into security, I would look at the cloud security cert, the
Mm-hmm.
SEC 540. If you're looking to do penetration testing, they already have it broken down by teams: red teams, blue teams, green teams, and even orange. If you want to check it out on that, they have a roadmap. They have a whole
Mm-hmm.
entire training roadmap. So check them out as well too. And they're also they give you the ability to get discounts on those classes by sitting in on some of the classes. And I think you could get the class like at 2,500, because some of the classes cost like $8,000, but you can get the class at $2,500. And they have a program for that.
How much would it cost us to get into a good career in general? What are you thinking?
Well, from where are we starting from?
Let's say we're making what the average American makes in America, 30,500, and we want to
Okay.
double our income to at least 65, $70,000.
You could do Linux. You could do the Linux administration course for free, and the
Mm-hmm.
only free meaning monetarily free, time meaning that's the time you invest, and you can double your money within 6 months to a year. If that, you can do
What does
45
that
days if
mean?
you
What
got
do you mean double your money? You mean higher pay?
double your income.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, double
They
your
pay us
income.
more. We're gonna get in there and they're gonna pay us some more. What they paying us some more for?
They
What we
paying
got
us.
to for them dollars? No.
So you got to remember, you're taking the time to study, and the just the entry level. And I do this often. The entry level Linux class or entry level Linux beginner can go anywhere from 60 to 80,000.
Okay. So
That's with
we said Linux administration is free. You starting from 60 to 70,000. Okay.
60 to 80, 60 to 80.
60, 80. You know, they
Yeah,
be asking me these questions when you ain't here. And I be
that's
tired.
fine. That's
Okay, I be
fine.
tired of
Yeah.
it.
Yep. And what's so cool about the Linux administration part is that you're going to start learning about not just Linux, but you'll
Hmm.
start learning about systems, and then you start learning about security, and then you can roll into things like automation tools or configuration management tools like
Hmm.
Ansible or Puppet or Chef. Once you start doing that, again, I call it skill stacking. You need to stack your skills. Once you start stacking your skills, you're gonna the rule of thumb that was told to me from a guy at a conference, I'm never gonna forget it. For every skill you stack, every skill or every
Hmm.
certification you get, you need to add $50 an hour to your portfolio.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Say it again.
He said you add $50 an hour to your portfolio. So for every skill or certification that you stack on, he add $50 an hour. That was told to me. Like I said, at that conference that day when I was talking to people, there were some guys in there that were contracting themselves out at $500 an hour. There are some people that contract themselves out at $1,000 an hour.
Hmm.
So again,
What's
it
funny is what you're saying is I have a friend who he's at a job in San Antonio, and he was saying they're so nice. Like he's from the military and he's like, oh, I'm in tech out here. And he's like, if you have a headache, you don't have to show up at work. You just have to say on the note that you had a headache. And he's like, these tech people are soft. I said, well, they could work from home. They at least they let you take in the day off if you got a headache. And so
Right.
I'm laughing about what you're saying, but every you guys heard what you said. Everything you add on, add $50
Yeah.
to your pay.
Yeah. At $50 an hour to your skill set.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I see this learn React, Express, Postgres.
He went to a boot camp.
Yep. Yep. So that sounds like they're prepping you to be an SRE. When you're looking at that, because when I see Node.js, what I see is applications and APIs, and being able to deploy something onto a Kubernetes cluster, or maybe even serverless if you want to get into that realm. And then from there, get into deploying and securing your applications on a Kubernetes cluster, GKE, GCP, whatever, however you want to break that down, whatever cloud you want to look at. But that's what I see when I see that.
And here's the thing I always try to tell you guys. They be offering boot camps all over Texas. I mean, $149 for this, $400 for this, but you're going to be there all day. You're going to be there all day. And some of y'all know y'all don't learn like that. That's all I'm just...
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be funny, but some people just know they don't learn that way.
Yeah.
So,
you got to learn how you learn. If you know that you learn by doing, then you need to be prepared to read before you get to the class, do the work before you get to the class, and then when you get in the class, do it again with the teacher in the class. Because you know that you are a hands-on keyboard. You can't sit back and watch someone do something. And that's truly important. You have to learn how you learn. And I spoke on this before. There's six different ways for you to look at on how you learn. Some people are auditory, some people are visual, some people like to listen. So you need to go and check out, what works for you. And some people are a combination of both, maybe all six at some point in time.
Yeah, they've got a thing called like Cyber here in Austin and Killeen, and a lot of military people are like, I'm gonna go, and I'm like, listen, calm down now. If you don't learn like that, you're gonna be mad. You're gonna pay all this money. You're gonna be there. You're gonna be a little frustrated. So that's all I'm just trying to tell people. Like, what she's telling you about how do you learn is more important than anything else. Because I know a lot of people like, you always push it on in the business. Listen, I want you to get. The two roads I see opening up is people that make a lot of money. They're making 150 to, I would say that 75,000 to 150,000. Those people will be able to live well, and people who own businesses, because some business owners pay themselves about 150 after everything's said and done and diced up and cost out and employees. So when they talk about, the average business owner make less than 80 grand a year, depends on the business, right? You guys are going off taxes, but some of these people be out here lying hard. Okay, we just saw the PPP. These brothers is lying on these taxes. Okay, so don't take the data with a grain of salt. But I just congrats on your cert and
okay. And I see the question from Mallory about boot camp or community college for educational experience. So it depends, right? If you are some of the community colleges have programs set up with a AWS or an Azure, depending on it really depends on what grant they wrote to that year. That's really what that boils down to. And some of those classes, if you want to do AWS training or CompTIA is in bed with everybody. So you can always get the CompTIA courses. But some of the community colleges, like I said before, Georgia State and in Georgia, a lot of the community colleges are signed up to do data engineering courses that you can do a 2-year degree. They roll you in, and it is a partnership with State Farm, and they roll you into that course, and you're working the whole time, and then they roll you into a 4-year degree where you earn your 4-year degree right in the community college right there, and you earn your money, right? So you're not in school and not getting paid, you're earning money, and you could take that 2-year degree if you want to, associates, and then go off and work, or you can go and get your bachelor's degree. So some of the schools have partnerships already with
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the 4-year schools, and some schools have partnerships that roll into apprenticeships programs. So the latest trend now is you see apprenticeship programs come out. Home Depot has it. There's a couple of other places that I've seen have it. But basically, instead of you working the whole time and not, I mean, instead of you learning the whole time, you're working and you're learning. So you're getting a paycheck as well too, and you're learning on the job, and you're within the company as well, so you gain benefits as well too. So it's a win-win for you and that company, because now they can train you, and keep you employed, and make sure you got benefits. So there's a win-win for that.
Right. You guys are in here. He's talk about tech sales.
Yeah, so sales engineering. Sales
Mm-hmm.
engineering is another big role where you can get into and not you can be technical. You can be
Mm-hmm.
as technical, but usually in the sales engineering roles, they'll if something that they don't understand or gets into the weeds, they'll bring in the engineering team of that particular product, and to help sell that to the customer. But sales engineering is another great role to get into. Salesforce is huge. I saw Salesforce in the chat. Salesforce is one. Red Hat is another one. Pretty much any company where there's a product, there's a sales.
Salesforce and Red Hat.
Salesforce, Red
You
Hat.
know, I gotta type these in the description. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
fine. Cisco. Uh, uh, you name it. Where there's a product, F5. Uh, I can Dell, HP, Rackspace, all have sales engineering jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go look at those job descriptions, and they'll tell you, right? Again, are you customer centric? Are you customer focused? Can you listen well? Can you listen to a customer, break down what their needs are?
Now you
Take
know people hard headed though.
take what they take what they're giving you, and look at the products that you have, and can you help them come up with a solution? Are you able to communicate that back to your team? Are you able to communicate that back to the customer and provide a solution? Be the solution is where I
Solutions, y'all. People who provide solutions always will be paid.
Yep, yep. um
She said cybersecurity is hella hard to get into. You need like 5 years experience in before getting a job.
I don't know where you're looking at.
What city are you in?
I'm not sure where you're looking at.
I just
uh
got here. Is software engineering oversaturated? I also have no tech background.
Nope, this software engineering is not oversaturated. What is oversaturated is that you have your software engineering part, and you don't stack a skill set on top of that. And a skill set I would stack on top of software engineering would be cloud. Because you're gonna walk into the situation where you need to understand something like GitLab, GitHub, Travis CI, uh, um, Travis CI, GitLab, GitHub. There's one more. Oh, Jenkins,
Hmm.
Bitbucket. You're gonna need to understand code
Girl,
repositories.
you naming all these things. They ain't all gonna get on here. They gonna be
That's
in
all
the
right. That's all
description.
right. That's why we review. I'm trying to get
Hmm.
it all out so people can understand. But if you take those things, if you understand how to understand Git, and how to take your code and deploy it to a repository, then start doing understanding how to automate a deployment. That's where your Git lab runners, GitHub actions come into play. And then understanding, okay, well, once I deploy this code and it goes through a system of checks, another little piece in all of this that people never talk about is, how do you test? Testing is another avenue for people to get into. All
Hmm.
right, so testing your code is another avenue. Another avenue that never gets talked about is documentation.
Hmm.
How to write good technical documentation. All right, we all get these little uh gadgets in a box, and there's this document in there that shows you how to plug up stuff, that's documentation. Do you write good
Mhm.
documentation? So that's another job, right? There's 3 jobs I just mentioned there. Somebody asked, do I have consultant link? Yes, I do. I my people aren't in here today, so I can't drop links, but I'll pull my screen over here and start dropping links as well
Yeah,
too.
and then also just we'll update the description and also be the top pin comment under
Gotcha.
here. So how much does it cost to take a test for a Linux administrator?
So if you go through the IBM skills course, it's free.
Hmm.
Uh,
Everybody write that down, because I mean, what I want y'all to understand is she's naming prices and she's saying things cost money, and a lot of y'all are hearing her but not. So I just want you to understand. We talked about a Linux administrator. You're gonna make 60 to 80. She just said, say that one more time.
60 to 80, and the IBM skills course. I saw Sasha in the actual chat. If you could drop that link, Sasha, that'd be great. But the IBM skills course, the way the RHCSA is broken down, it is broken down into 2 parts. The first part is the 124 class, and the second part is the 134 class. The first part in this particular course,
Hmm.
the 124 class, you get a voucher. The voucher
Okay.
is free for you to take the actual exam. You fail it, I'm pretty sure you probably have to pay for it yourself, but
Hold
you're
on,
getting a
I'm
voucher.
a, I'm gonna share my screen so they know, because y'all think I'm playing, but I want to share my screen because I don't think y'all be listening when she talk about this and the cost of things. Let me just give you an example, because people be like, oh, da, da. No, 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 listen, because we're talking about these boot camps. This is $4,495,
Yep. And there was a boot
but
camp that
that's why we
came.
talk about the free ones. But go ahead.
Yeah, there was a link I posted in my Slack, that the Microsoft, where they were giving the Microsoft training for free
Hmm.
for that training. I posted that in my Slack. If you haven't joined my Slack, you should join my Slack, because that's where I post everything at.
Where's your Slack?
My Slack is if you go to our website, womeninlinux.org, and hit connect, you can join the Slack from there. Of course, you need Slack on your machine. I mean on your on your computer
You
or
said
on your phone.
Women in Linux.
.org.
I'm gonna put join another workspace.
Right. Did you hit if you went to womeninlinux.org, it'll sign you right up.
Hold on, hold on. I'm gonna add a workspace. I'm gonna look for a sign into another workspace. What was this? Use this email. I'm already in this workspace. Get me to another workspace. Listen, on the tech now. Your girl be struggling.
Yeah, womeninlinux.org is the actual joint. And then when you get there, if you hit connect, it'll sign you right up to our Slack. In our Slack, I post in our trainings and scholarships. I post all scholarships that come through for us, and any training that's free. I try to post that as well too. We
Hmm.
also have recruiters in our Slack, and
You
people
guys,
who are
if you type in women in Linux, a purple
.org.
page come up,
Yep,
and you can type in, enter your email address. I just want to walk it through for people.
yep,
If you
that's fine.
And then boom, success check women.
Hey, Linda
Invite.
Bolton, I see you just joined. Levette, I see you just joined. Thank you for joining. I'm looking. I can see you on my side here on my computer on the side. Yep.
Oh, womenlinux.org, y'all.org.
.org. Yep. And so with that PE 124, you take the PE 124. Once you take the PE 124, you go on to the 134. The 134 class doesn't have an exam. There's another exam voucher that you receive that you have to apply for, and it's free to apply. You receive that exam voucher, and it is that the exam, which is the RHCSA, is a combination of the 124 and the 134. So basically, you'll be going over the 124 stuff again in this final exam, and then the 134. What's cool about that is you're getting tested over the same information again, but then make sure that you know the information. So now you're giving yourself a 50% chance to pass, rather than not having that. Yep. We got men in Linux that come to our group. We got 30% men that watch our YouTube channel. We have several men in our group. We have several men that come on our podcast. So we
They
got
say I don't
men.
care what it say. We gonna come
Yeah.
up in here.
Yeah. We got men join all the time. I actually have men on to talk about sales engineering. Sales engineering at Red Hat. What does that look like? What does that range like? Some people are making anywhere from 3 to 400,000 when we're talking about this. And a lot of people get on me about giving numbers. I'm gonna tell you this now. I give numbers because I want to give you realistic expectations, and I want you to understand what the numbers look like out there, so that you are aware of this, because in our community we don't share what those numbers look like. And you go to places like payscale.com, or you go somewhere like what's the other one, Glassdoor, and they'll
Mhm.
tell you 100,000 or 90,000, and then you get on a job and then somebody else is making double what you're making, and you're left out in the cold. So I try to give you numbers that I know that are people that are actually doing
Mark
that.
said my
So
income increased 4 times over when I got into tech. It changed my life.
congratulations, Mark. Well, what did you get into when you started? Yeah, Kevin, it ranges from 60 to 80.
Yeah, everybody's,
Yeah.
listen, that's why I keep telling y'all when people be like, Erica, why you keep pushing it? Listen, if the average income in America is $30,000, and then the average black man that's 38 or 40 years old is owning $38,000 a year, that's low, y'all. You in a country where, again, we talk about jobs and we talk about careers.
Yep.
A lot of people are out here in a job.
Yep.
To me, anything under 75,000 is a job. A
Yep.
career is where you have an opportunity to move up financially and add on to your portfolio. So I know people get mad at me always bringing this up, but I have to, because I think a lot of times we are coasting and then complaining about the cost of stuff. That just, it is what it is.
Yep.
They said I'm making 80,000, looking to make 100,000.
You shouldn't be looking to make 100,000 in a few years. You should be looking to make 100,000 in the next 6 months. The
Mm-hmm.
average tech job right now is paying 147,000. That came
Mm-hmm.
out probably like 3 months ago. Um, I'm just gonna be honest, and I'm not trying to be mean to anybody, but
Mm-hmm.
your average tech job, everybody, for me, this is just my personal opinion. You should be looking at 150,000. You
Mm-hmm.
should be pushing that at 150,000. That's just my that's the number right now to go to. I did a review of my offers last week, last Saturday, no, Saturday before last, on what I was making in 2008 and in 2011. I went
Mm-hmm.
over that journey on, and I showed everyone my offers. So this is not, speculation or anything of that nature. This is the hardcore facts.
Can,
Uh,
can I bring
this
this
is what
up
it
real
is.
quick about this
Yep.
boot camp?
Yep.
Just to show y'all how much they be cramming. You get there at 9 a.m. Cram, 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 cram,
Yep.
cram, and then at 12:30 y'all close out. Do you
Yep.
think you learn like that?
Yep. And again, you
Depends
gotta
on the
have
person.
you gotta have a solid way of studying, and you need to prep before you get into class. You can always ask for materials ahead of time. They usually give it to you a week ahead of time, and that week that they give you, that time that they give you, take the time and actually go through the content. And what I want to show you, what you should be doing, is you should get stickies, like these right here. You should get you
Mm-hmm.
some stickies. Once you get those stickies, you label everything that's in that particular course. And now when it's time for you to take notes and go back and flip through your notes, you can flip through your notes, and you can make a journal of that too. Like you can say, okay, on the pink page or the pink tabs, this is a summary of the information. Here's what I did with that. So now when you're flipping through this, because a lot of times they give you PDFs. You could print those PDFs out. Sorry, you're killing trees. However, I'm a sticky person, and I keep a journal of that. So that way, when I
Mm-hmm.
flip through and I go through it, I know what was said during that time and the information that was there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep, repetition is everything. That's why I say study 3 times. Read the information. Just listen and read the information, then go back through and then take notes, then go back through and actually do the labs. This repetition is going to help you when you start seeing it again.
And again, Linux, Red Hat, Oracle, Linux Professional, CompTIA. I'm just showing y'all in the background, like she is what she's talking about is accurate. That's why I keep showing y'all these boot camps. It's gonna take 8 weeks and $11,000 when you could do what? Something else. Okay.
Yep.
Don't shut yourself out of the industry. Somebody put AWS. If you could learn AWS. I was on a plane and somebody was like coding beside me. It was making my eyeballs hurt.
Yeah,
I was
so
like, what are you
yeah,
doing?
AWS is still huge, but here's the flip side of that. So if you're in my Slack now, if you in the general channel, what I have listed is a all the federal government contracts that have been won, that are winning every day, from 2.1 billion to 3 billion to 10 billion to 279 million. So what
Mhm.
happens with those contracts is the government is pushing for people to be actually not cleared, but to be able to get a clearance. So they're like, we'll sponsor your clearance because we need that many workers to do this work. So what ends up happening is you have you get your Linux, you get your security, you get your cloud, you understand, depending on who you are, your AI, and your machine learning, and now you start working remotely. You may work remotely in the city. You may work remotely from home. It depends on the work. You start
So
working on
can we
SpaceX. It
start
depends.
working from home
Yeah,
in
I
the
work.
beginning, like
Yeah,
in like off the front, off the gate?
yeah. I work from home now. Places that allow you to work from home. Rackspace allows you to work from home. They're based out of San Antonio. You can work from
Rack
home with,
space,
yep, you can work from home with Digital Ocean. You can work
digital
from
ocean.
home
If it's
with
their first job, should they work from home?
if it's their first job, I say it's person dependent,
Okay,
right?
you
Because
tell
some
me
people need people, right? Some people
to
need that
figure it out.
camaraderie
Some
to
help.
figure it out. Yep. I would because I've been in doing it so long, I would say no. But if you need that camaraderie to see what it's like or
Just to
whatnot.
make sure you're doing it right, probably.
Yep. And the other thing too is you have to utilize the tools that are given to you, such as Slack, such as Teams, such as
Hmm.
Getter, and so forth. You have to use the tools and set up one-on-ones. Don't be afraid to walk in and set up a one-on-one with a team member or somebody else on another team, just to get to know what they're doing and how they're doing and how they got there, understand their journey. Ask questions, right? The worst thing they could do is say, no, I don't want to meet with you. Fine, on to the next one. Out of 60 people, you at least get two. Like, you got to play your odds. You just want to know people's journey. You want to know what they're working on and how they're doing stuff, because it may be something that you're interested in doing and you just haven't been introduced to it yet.
Hmm. So, yeah, people are like Slack, Observe, GitHub.
Yeah, I see Gabe say the first time most people don't work from home. Well, actually, they do. I mean, we're in COVID, and so therefore we're
Mm.
working from home. VMware, you're working from home.
Hmm. Hmm.
It is job dependent. Some people want you to move to the city.
Don't you have to put
Uh,
screen record on your computer and all this stuff, or no?
no screen record. Not none of the jobs I've seen.
Okay, this person said they're stuck in a help desk position.
Yep. I just talked to a few people that were stuck in the help desk position. Like I
Hmm.
said, get out and start learning your Linux, your AWS, and so forth.
And
Yeah,
there's 300 people here. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Man, so many of y'all just joined in here. I'm so proud of y'all joining in here, Women in Lytics, so that you can learn more. Make sure y'all hit the like button.
yeah. Most of the
Hit
jobs
that like button.
that I've seen that are entry level job, you can go to cybercoders.com and check out their stuff. Most of their stuff are remote, and they're
Hmm.
and first time people are remote. In fact, the company that I work for now, we hire people, OctoML, we hire people right out of college, and they're working remotely, and we're
Hmm.
distributed all over. So I have a few coworkers right now that are this is their first job ever, and they work remotely. So it like I say, it's company dependent.
Somebody said
And
AWS is hot.
yeah,
Somebody said
AWS,
just learn Python and Java.
yeah, AWS, Azure, GCP, they're all hot. They're all
Mhm.
winning contracts left and right.
Okay, okay. And she said, "I love this, but it sounds like Espanol."
It's all good. It's all right. What credit solution is, what you got to understand is you want to help those people who are making that money, make sure they credit straight.
Thank you for the 4.99 super chat. Thank you. I appreciate you. Writing can lead to technical writing. How
Yep,
do you document?
yep,
Taking notes.
yep,
Just glad someone got it. Y'all better learn some Git and GitHub.
yep,
Oh,
yep.
thank you so much. I appreciate you.
GitHub Actions, GitLab, Travis CI, understanding automation, understanding CI/CD, continuous delivery,
Mm-hmm.
continuous deployment, blue green deployments, all of those things.
Mm-hmm. He's
AWS Cloud. Um, no,
he
you
can
can
still do that.
you could do both. You could do
Mm-hmm.
AWS cloud and Linux. I mean, when you get into AWS, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to deploy a Linux box. You're probably going to, or if you're doing serverless or something like that. But understanding um how to get the application to work, get it started up, I mean, those are things that you're just gonna need to know. It's Ubuntu, Red Hat, you pick one, you're gonna need to know that. One of the big things that is hot right now, are all the startups that are working with AI and machine learning and GPUs and ARM controllers. That's super huge. Understanding modeling is super huge as well too. And then the next phase in security is the TPM, where we're
Mm-hmm.
starting to understanding. I want people to check out the Confidential Computing Consortium, where we're now crunching and doing secure models and secure uh, machine learning at the CPU level, and then I think Google has it, and I think Amazon just picked it up. For those of you that are in a hybrid situation where you're looking, or even a multi-cloud situation, where you're looking to try to figure out how to do on-prem and in the cloud, I would look at things like Anthos. I would look at things like Tanzu, of course, Rancher, OpenShift. Um, when you're trying to marry something that's on-prem and push something up from on-prem. Not everybody is migrating everything to the cloud. Some people are migrating stuff from the cloud to on-prem. It is dependent on what type of data they have, what type of restrictions the customer has. So
Mm-hmm.
these are things that we need to be looking out for when we're talking about a multi-cloud model or a hybrid model.
It's cheaper than a college degree,
It
possibly.
is.
I use Linux computer now. I might as well get this certificate just because.
Yep.
I don't even
Yep.
know what that means, but I got
Yep.
it.
Yeah, you should
Somebody said
get
I
you should get the
got that
cert.
on lock. Tomorrow I'll be in class.
Yeah, you should get the cert.
Um,
Yep.
let me see.
I'll also, for those that are looking, that are entry level and looking to start, I will also look at the different, some of the colleges like Yale has an apprenticeship program as well too. Also, and I don't know why people don't do this. Attend the meetups. Go to
Mhm,
meetup.com and attend meetups, and a lot of those meetups are remote. And the reason why I say attend those meetups, because I know here in the Tampa area, Accenture puts on meetups, but who shows up to those meetups are people who are employers at say a rack space, or an employer that may be over at Coca-Cola or some other company, and they're hiring managers. So now you're networking with them and you're getting a chance to talk about what you're doing and what you're looking for, and it gives you a way in.
mhm,
Another avenue is open source projects. If you're not familiar with the CNCF and understanding different open source projects, contributing to different open source projects gets you in the door because you meet different people. One of the projects I'm a part of is KubeVirt, which is underneath the hood for OpenShift. So being able to be a part of that project. You get to meet people at VMware, you get to meet people at Ericsson, you get to meet people over here at Samsung who are a part of the project itself. And so you get a chance to talk to them about what's going on and how they're using it. And you get a chance to also contribute to the project, which looks good on your resume, which helps you build your portfolio, but gives you a way in as well too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to catch some of the chat, some of the questions in the
I
chat.
know. Listen, there's 75 likes and 309 people on the chat. Don't forget to like. 65K entry level salary was for the very basic HTML and PHP.
Yep.
I don't know what that is exactly.
Yep.
If you got certain, if you definitely need to add, if you got any certs, you definitely need to ask for 100K.
Yeah, if you're certain, like I say, 100, I say 150K is a baseline there.
Listen, y'all, if you listen,
Yep, and then
100K, 100 racks.
Yep.
Somebody said I know several people made a lot of money.
Yep, they make good money at Rackspace, and
Mm-hmm.
and Rackspace is cool. It's good entry level. You can make more outside of that though.
Mm-hmm.
But most definitely a good way to get into cloud backups, security, clusters, you name it. Another one that a lot of people like to overlook as well too is Oracle. Oracle was giving away their certifications for free, and when we start talking about Oracle, I'm really looking at databases when I'm looking at Oracle from that perspective, because a lot of people still use Oracle. As much as people don't like to talk about it, they want to say Oracle is dying, whatever, but
Oracle done
it,
bought up all these daggone buildings here. They got some money.
so you can say they're dying, but Oracle has a big push. Anybody that wants to meet someone at Oracle, one of the hiring managers, they had a rule of thumb. It was 2 years ago. They was on a mission to hire, I think he said they were on a mission to hire 3,000 people, and that was 2 years ago. So I'm not sure where they're at with that. And that was in one department. They redid their cloud, they revamped their cloud, and they were looking to introduce their cloud back out to their customers. It was their Cloud 2.0 mission. Again, when you're looking at this, you have to also think. I always tell this story. Just probably like 3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
Amazon back office was on Oracle. They just
Mm-hmm.
got out for Oracle probably like 3 years ago. So imagine Amazon was on Oracle. You can only imagine who else back office is on Oracle as well too. So just something to keep in mind. Scholarships online.
I mean,
Yep.
yeah. I mean, again,
Yep.
there's a million ways to skin a cat. Someone said the help desk is from the devil.
It is. It is. You can get
Somebody
stuck
said their
there.
head is spinning in here.
I'm not trying to spin your head. I'm just offering what you
Listen to
can
this
do.
twice, y'all. Some of y'all. They only let me work one day a week from home.
Okay. I mean, do you want to stay there at that position? Do you want to stay at that job? There's a ton of jobs out there.
This person said,
So
"How can
that you have to
learn UX design without 20K coder camp?"
You know what? I know what UX design is. I'm just not familiar with with the boot camps and who has stuff for free. I can look and see. I know I haven't posted anything in my Slack when it comes to that. I'm sorry I couldn't help you out a little more on that one.
She said, "I'm an independent consultant with the Big Four. You need to start at 150 because they pay project managers 135 to start. Deloitte,
I,
KNG,
I
PwC, all hiring
yeah,
now heavy.
yep.
What's your
That
thoughts on that?"
yeah, I didn't lie. That's my
And
thoughts.
really, here's what I want to say to y'all. And I know y'all think I be hard on everybody. Y'all just have lack of exposure. It was no thing to have. There's a lot of people here in Austin. They be going on ski trips. They be going all the time. I was like, what is going on? And they are making 150, 160, 180. And this is when I first moved here. So who knows what
Yep.
they making now? One girl was mad because she had to move. She got a divorce and she wanted to take a different job to get away from her husband from here, right? Ex-husband. And she was like, oh, they don't pay you nothing. And I said, well, how much do they pay you? She said, man, my job now pays me 185. My job in North Carolina will pay me 162. We said it again. She was getting paid 185 and was going through divorce and wanted to move. And she was like, but they only gonna pay 162 in Raleigh. And I was like, in Raleigh, North Carolina, honey, you go.
So
Your
out
life
of
is.
these three that Mary mentioned, Deloitte is who you want to roll with, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Uh,
The other two don't treat
you,
you right. They be mean to you.
no, I just want to say that's where the money resides. That's just all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it at that,
Mm-hmm.
and that's only because I got work coming up with them.
The Tides, thank you so much. I appreciate all y'all.
And then yeah, W3 schools, that's old school. They've been around forever.
Somebody said never said help desk for more than 2 years.
I would say don't stay at the help desk for more than a year. And
I think people get comfortable. They get real
yeah,
comfortable.
and the reason why I say no more than a year is because you need to be spending all that time learning what else is out there and start get making it like day one. You should be learning like what your training credits are. Like you should know that even before you sign the offer letter. You should understand what your training credits are, and you don't want to be stuck in the help desk for too long, because then you get that label on you. um
What's that label? What's that label?
that label is you just help this, so we're going to
Ooh,
move you from level 1 to level 2, right?
no,
And
thank you.
you don't want to get that stigma on you. You want to get you want to get in, get your certs, get your exposure, talk to people, network, and move out as quick as possible. But understand how business works and understand how people work when you're there. That's just my
You
take
just
on that.
dare. I'm just here so I won't get fired. So
Right.
Jessica said cloud experience is ideal. AWS, GCP, Azure, and
Hmm.
yes, plenty of IT jobs. Anyone in IT field can find a good remote option.
Yep.
Thoughts?
Yep.
Thoughts?
Yep, you can find again skill stacking when you're in AWS and you don't know security, or you don't know Linux, or you don't know how to automate that infrastructure, how to use Terraform or CloudFormation or ARM templates or GCP from the command line. They all have a shell or a SDK or some type of CLI. But if you don't know how to automate those things, you pointing and clicking day one at the job, cool, it's cute. But if you're on my team, I need for you to automate your process, automate your stuff. Always be looking to automate yourself out of not out of a job, but automate your steps. That's where you start getting into your Terraform, CloudFormation, Ansible, Puppet, Chef. You need to start looking at those things immediately. That's when
Hmm.
Git comes into play, your Git repository, your GitLab, GitHub, all of that comes into play. So you need
Hmm.
to start using those things.
So they basically go Linux administrator, AWS, and then what's the third one?
You said AWS, GCP, security. I always throw security in there, just some baseline stuff. What is
Hmm.
Okta? What is single sign on?
Hmm.
Understanding if you're, especially if you're working at GKE or something of that nature, or you're working with different networks and understanding subnetting and stuff, just basic understanding of security. It just helps you. It just helps you in the different jobs where you can now treat yourself as, hey, I understand cloud, I understand Linux, but you know what, I understand cloud security and Linux security, so I want to go down that path. You know what,
Hmm.
I understand machine learning and AI, but how do I secure my models? How do I secure the data that those models are using? So now I can go that way. I'm just giving you stuff that you can go vertical, you can be
Hmm.
multifaceted, you can train and do, you can pick your course instead of somebody dictating your course.
Hmm. What are some things that we talk about a 45-day window? Only reason I talk about a 45-day window because here's how just studies show how people are like I'm thinking about something and then they don't
Hmm.
ever follow through, right? So the reason I put 45-day window on is because most people something piss them off at their job and then they like, I'm up out of here, I'm
Hmm.
leaving here.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's part of why I put it in this kind of like structure, because I just know how people are. They get mad and then something blows over and then they just keep going to work when you really have to decide like, no, I don't like this, y'all not gonna treat me like this. and I don't appreciate
Right.
it.
Right. And that 45-day window, again, you can do Linux, you can do AWS, either
Hmm.
or. But once you learn Linux, you need to learn some type of cloud. Once you learn some type of cloud, you also need to learn Linux. They go hand in hand to me. They're
Hmm.
they're a happy marriage to me. And then from there you incorporate some security and keep going vertical. Add
Hmm.
on to your skill sets with your automation tools and testing, uh, understanding applications, how to create APIs. You can get into SRE if you want to. You can go down the data engineering path if you want to, dealing with Kafka, uh, however you see fit on that. But again, you 45 days, AWS, GCP, Azure, or Linux. And the only reason why I steer people to Linux, because to me, I think it's the quickest way to get foundational knowledge and then be able to maneuver around and get a job as well too.
Hmm.
If I give you AWS, yes, you can get a job, but if you never use Git, or you have never ever scripted before, or you've never ever used Terraform or Cloud Formation, uh, you know, they'll hire you, but you may not be on the team that you want to be on or see the money that you want to see. Just my take.
Hmm.
I'm sure some people would refute that, but it's okay.
She's like, we don't care about you. We're talking about. We don't care what you're talking about. It's essentially what she said. We don't care what you're talking about.
Yeah, Lord Commander, I see you said you do the two 160. I would say that's nice, but I will also say take that 160 and then drop the other 160 drop and then go contract yourself out for double the pay. And the reason why is then you could take that money that you make as a contractor and roll that under a business. And now you'll have your LLC and you'll have your business making money. And then now you'll have past skills and past performance. And now you can start building and contracting yourself out and probably building your team. And so then instead of you doing the work, you'll have somebody else do the work. Just a FYI. That's what I would do.
Hmm. Y'all,
Uh,
has it been good? Drop a one in the comments, y'all. Has it been good? Have y'all
yeah,
enjoyed the conversation? Don't be quiet now.
Yeah, time management is something, and the one thing about the two jobs is you do have to balance your time, and you do have to take very good notes, and you also have to be aware of what's going on with the project, so working ahead and so forth, and you stay in the same skill sets. You have to stay in the same skill sets. If you are like, hey, this over here is doing something completely new, where you got to account for that time to ramp up to do that new stuff, and then do the work, right? And then so
Hmm.
you may be double book over here. So just stay in the same skill set if that's what your aim is.
And the last two,
In
we're
it
gonna answer this, and we're gonna answer healthcare IT. That's it. Hmm.
So the front end developer, there is a roadmap for all of these jobs that I'm
Somebody
talking
said
about.
blouse. This is a dress. Okay, sorry. Anyways, go ahead.
Uh, the it is called roadmap.sh. And that roadmap is really a roadmap for front end, back end, Postgres, QA, React. And that front end roadmap on here, it talks about your skill sets that you need. It talks about the classes that you need to take. It even breaks it down into packet managers, your build tools, and so forth. It is a good starting point in order for you to understand what advice is for a front end developer. I would then take what you learn in that boot camp and what you see on this roadmap, and then I would go on Indeed, Dice, Levels, FYI, Blind, and then I
Mhm.
would go look up jobs on as far as front end developers. I would go look at 5 jobs, 10 jobs, 15 jobs, however you see fit, and then look for core skills, what they're looking for front end developers. Out of those 5 jobs, you should see a theme. There's always a theme. You always need to be looking for patterns. So when you find that pattern, then that's considered your core skills. Once you have that as your core skills, then those are the core skills that you need to have. I don't care what front end developer job you go look at. You can then take that set of core skills that you have and then go look at levels FYI and blind and find out how much money those people are making. People like at Netflix,
Hmm.
Netflix only does base and base and bonus. So some of their jobs range from 300,000 to 1.5 million. The same way with Google, some of their jobs are ranging anywhere from 300 to 2 million for a starting salary. It
We had
depends
somebody in
on.
Hulu from Hulu in the audience this past week in
Yep.
Atlanta. I was like, oh, can I tell you a funny look? We got to look at this one. Mary cracking me up right here. Deloitte had just had a 2-week Salesforce program. They literally taking former mail carriers, babysitters, trainers to be Salesforce consultants. I'm gonna tell you, a lot of my consulting calls have been asking about switching over to tech. Y'all,
Mhm.
here you go. Get on in there. Figure it. Hop in. Put yourself on a timer. Listen, detailed goals are not funny, are not fuzzy. Wishes are fuzzy. Like, well, maybe
Mhm.
one day, possibly, I may do it. Like all that is fun. Like, put a timeline on it. So again, I just want y'all to come on now. Look, come
Mhm.
on now. Even here, she said rework training is free and lasts 8 weekends. Good Lord, 8 weekends. And they help you get jobs at DocuSign, Amazon, and Fortune 500. I took it and I'm certified. Congratulations.
Yep. There's
But
it's
Deloitte is
called.
taking mail carriers. No, but
It's Amazon Restart is another one they where they're taking workers who want to re-enter the workforce and start work. I mean, you got to remember, I told you a while ago, Amazon was looking to hire, I think, 2 million people over up I think to 2025. So
listen,
there is a big ramp,
why
and
tech
then
people
you
more?
got to.
Why don't more tech people have real estate in their portfolio? If you got this much money, don't get that Porsche. Go get that rental.
Okay, so, and that's what I talk about on tech stocks and jobs. Good segue. Tech stocks and jobs. I talk about how to take your money that you make in tech and then go invest into real estate, go invest into ETFs, go invest into commercial real estate, go invest into what's coming out, these IPOs. What does that look like? What does their
Mhm.
technology look like? I talk about it on my 2 o'clock show. Like, how do you build your portfolio? You need to have 3 buckets when you're talking about building your portfolio. You need to have a tax free so you can pull your money in and out. What does a Roth 401k look like? How to feed into. I talk about these things because you're making this high income and you're not protecting yourself from that. Where do you live at? Are you living in Florida? Are you living in Montana? Are you living in Delaware? What does that look like? Where can you buy? Are you buying property in opportunity zones? Are you buying property in hub zones? Are you building your company in a hub zone? Are you using the tax credits? What does that look
I just
like
think
for you?
about the fact that y'all be able to qualify for more. That's really my
You do.
thought. I'm like, y'all can qualify for some stuff, okay?
Yeah, yeah, you qualify for a lot of stuff, right? You
Hmm.
qualify for building another business and you can have your own funds build that
Hmm.
business out, right? You can get your car in a business thing, just different things. You still got to be the guarantor. Don't let people fool you on that. But again, these are just different ways to take your money and make your money work for you outside of just tech.
I like it. I like it. So, look, you guys, there's y'all got like 7,000 dang gone comments up in here. Okay, now look, get up in that women in Linux. I'm gonna read Lord Commander's. Lord Commander always got that T on. I'm a cloud architect working 160K fully remote roles. That's yep. Listen, here's what I heard. The Google and some other company, they were going to start seeing if people have multiple jobs because some people is doing some overlapping. And I said, now
Mhm.
if you smart enough to do some overlapping, good Lord, that's a
Mhm.
mess. This said, what
Yep.
about big dudes? I don't know what that is.
Big Hadoop is still good, but I would still look at the data engineering certificate from Google. Uh just because again you're still falling with that certification. You can go get Hadoop, but then I guess you're bound either way to some type of vendor. I
Hmm.
try to be agnostic as possible because I try to walk in with with being able to go anywhere when I want to, when I feel like it. That's my thing. I like to be agnostic. Oh, today you're looking at Google. Oh, you want someone to go over here and look at Azure? No problem. I can go look at Azure, because once I understand the basics of cloud, I understand the basics of any cloud. I understand how to move. I understand how to maneuver. I can get things spun up. So again, that's that's what it is. Yep. Somebody said, did I say 300 to 2 million? I did. Think you got, yep. Somebody else was talking about something up here. I
Thank you. I
saw.
appreciate you, Mary J. Thank you guys. I love this channel. You guys changed the trajectory of my life. Thank you for all you. Thank you. Look at Kimmoy coming in 20 hours late. You know, she live in Mexico. She's so tech money. She live in Mexico. She ain't come back to America. She don't care about us no more. She gone. She gone. Oracle data basket. Well, I mean, here's the thing. 150 definitely puts you ahead of most people and should cancel out most debt that you'll have at that point. So that's how I think people should look at it, honestly. So, but yeah, y'all cracking me up in these two.
Yeah, John Zeke say you still want a Porsche. The Porsche is obtainable. It's not hard to get a Porsche.
Porsche's like 42,000, 2017 Porsche Maca, whatever that thing is. Trust me, I test drove one.
McCain.
I was feeling myself. I don't like calling McCain. I think of John McCain. I don't like it. It makes me sad. I want to think of Maca.
Yeah. Blockchain development is super huge. Really, what you're there's the big fintech companies. So there was an article that came out from TechCrunch. If you don't follow TechCrunch, you need to go check out TechCrunch. TechCrunch talks about how investors are dumping a lot of money into the fintech companies as well. Another place that people don't look at are companies like your BMW. BMW has Linux. In fact, there's a job sitting in my queue right there that I need to post for they're looking for a Linux and a system engineer architect to come in and help them with their pipelines. Again, they're part of the open source community from the CNCF. They're the infotainment center inside of your BMW, inside of your Toyota Camry. They are ran by embedded Linux. So check that out when you want to look at it. Blockchain was definitely worth it when you want to talk about it. CompTIA, they're $1 billion company. Let's put it like that. They're $1 billion company. Am I a fan of CompTIA? Not really. But can you get in and learn stuff? Absolutely. I'm just not a fan of CompTIA. I'm more of a fan of the other vendors such as your AWS, your Red Hat, and so forth. As far as their security aspect, they are well known on the, I think it's the CASP and the CASM, CASP and CASM. I think they're a little bit more known on that one. Those are okay, but I still tend to steer towards your CISSP, your SANS.org, the GEOC certifications, a little bit well more known. They just had DEF CON. If anybody didn't attend Black Hat, and check out the Black cybersecurity engineers that were there that did a CTF, capture the flag. That's what CTF stands for. Check them out as well too. They actually have an Instagram for that.
Don't y'all be hating on that Porsche Macan. That is very much Texas bougie life. I'm telling you, anytime I go to a certain restaurant, I see them and I go, I see you. Somebody said I am retiring this year, but tech skills is literally the only thing that matters. Ladies, I urge you to acquire tech skills, please, for yourself. Listen, I keep trying to let y'all know. Listen, if you're a woman, and I just mean this. Listen, you ain't gonna stay super fine forever. Not even Holly Berry super fine forever. She's up there though. She fine. But what I want y'all to understand is you have to relay your skills into something where you don't wear your body out. I'm getting calls from women who are truckers who are trying to go in tech. I get calls from men who are truckers trying to go in tech. You have to figure out a way that you figure out a way to make money, okay? And sit it on down, right? And kind of have a way that works for you. What people learned from this last pandemic is people who had skills was going on about their life. They was at home. They was calm. They had Uber Eats, and they went on about their life, and they kept it moving. So that's all I really have for y'all today. But EJ from NYC said, "Thank you for this game. Continue education. Much love. Thank you." Listen, y'all, I have a dinner slash date, so I
Ah,
I have to go.
that's why you got your dress on.
Yes, I already had. I was ready to go for dinner. So I just want to say thank y'all for being here. Sorry about being late. To answer this last question, I'm gonna close it out.
Which certs would benefit me? I have a healthcare analyst background pursuing the HCISPP. I'm not sure what
Hmm.
the HC. I'm not sure if you're saying trying to say the CISSP, or I'm not sure what the HCISP. I will have to look that up. But which cert would benefit you? Honestly, it depends on who are you trying to go work for afterwards. So when I say that, I'm speaking of, are you trying to work for like one of the big pharmaceutical companies? Honestly, if you have a healthcare background, I would be looking at security,
Hmm.
because there will always be a need to secure data, especially in healthcare. And that's across different companies. So I would marry healthcare and security together, if it were me. Um, and understanding that, or you can marry healthcare and data engineering,
Hmm.
and pursue that way. But either way it go, they're still going to run together. That would be my take on those two.
Somebody said I want to be in tech is intimidating. Again, don't let these people are not that smart. Honey, yes, the truth always comes out. I'm going to dinner. I ain't got time to play with y'all. Uh, just gonna say that. Okay. So thank you guys for being here tonight. Yes, that course is still available. You can go get it off of Gumroad or Celts. I don't know exactly where, but off one of those apps. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I appreciate your time and coming in here. And you guys join Women in Linux. Okay. I went ahead and joined the Slack. You'll see me in there. And
Yep.
hopefully you'll be back for another Tech Tuesday. Because you know
Yep.
they're gonna be like, what did you say? Bring it back again. Okay. So just bring
So
it back.
good. I just hope I provided enough information for everybody and you got a chance to understand it. If you like I say, you don't have to believe me. You could go out here and see it for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and experience it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Go experience it for yourself, and then you'll start to understand and you'll start to see. The one key thing I want people to walk away with is, if you're not interviewing, then you're not getting the job. It's just what it is. So
And you help
be
people with interviews in there.
I do help people with interviews. I do interviews all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not signing up to interview with some of these with companies and do the mock interview, there's a, I think it's interview mock or mock interview dot
Mm-hmm.
co, I think it is. Getting with people who are already in our Slack, the recruiters and stuff, is just do interviews. If you're not doing that, then you're never going to be prepared. You got to be prepared. And the interview doesn't have to be for a job. You could be interviewing for a customer for your own company. So understand how to gather information and data. You need to be practicing.
Okay, y'all. Listen, get those mock interviews. Do what you do. Okay. All right, everybody. This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Going to go enjoy some steak. And Tamika, I will see you later. Tell them all the places they can find you.
You can find me everywhere at Women in Linux, just like you see on the screen. You can
Mhm.
find me at Tamika Reed on LinkedIn, or we are not on TikTok. I don't need to tick and talk, but you can find us everywhere on social media at Women in Linux, including our YouTube channel. Don't forget that.
All
And we
right,
do
you
have
guys.
one-on-ones. We do have one-on-ones. I'll
Mhm.
post those in the Slack.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. All right, you guys. This is your girl Erica. Later.
All right. Bye bye.